DogWorks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dog Works. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com.
What are the 4 critical periods and how do they affect my dog's physical and mental growth? Welcome to part 4 of our critical periods of a puppy's life. If you did not listen to parts 1 through 3, pause your player and go back and listen. We will be right here when you get back. As I've mentioned before, I've been involved with the physical health and well-being of dogs since I was trained dogs and, more importantly, trained their owners. I've had my share of puppy kisses, paws to my face, and dogs literally pulling my hair out, dog bites, and just about everything you can think of dealing with dogs I've dealt with. I credit not only the monks of New Skeet, my husband Robert Forto, but also Clarence Pfaffenberger, whose book, The New Knowledge of Dog Behavior, taught me how dogs learn and can be shaped into what we expect them to be as adults. That's right. You can literally determine what your dog will be like as an adult by introducing them to predetermined experiences and experiential learning opportunities during their 4 critical periods of life. If you are a canine enthusiast, dog trainer, dog breeder, or just someone interested in how dogs learn, then this is the program for you. If you know someone that may benefit from this information, please share this podcast, DogWorks Radio, with them. So far, we have learned about the first few weeks of a puppy's life. We learned about when they are first able to hear, see, and walk on their own. We also learned about the importance of imprinting early socialization and the fear period. Now, let's get started with the final part.
From First Paw Media, sponsored by Alaska Dog Works Professional Canine Training Center in Anchorage, Alaska. This is DogWorks Radio, committed to families and their dogs to build lifelong and fulfilling relationships. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert and Michele Forto.
Hello and welcome to DogWorks Radio. This is your host, Michele Forto, and I am the lead trainer at Alaska Dog Works. Are you one of the few people that train your dog? As a professional dog trainer, I find it interesting that every inquiry I receive is always about unwanted dog behaviors that I immediately recognize as starting during the 4 critical periods of life for a dog. On part 1, we talked about the first 3 weeks of a puppy's life. On parts 2 and 3, we discussed the next critical periods, including the fear period and the age of puppyhood. This week, we are going to dive deeper and cover age 12 weeks to age 2 years. If only the breeder, whether a professional or an amateur, had just taken the time to learn about canine development and behavior and had then incorporated it into their breeding program, even if it was just a one-time breeding or accidental, then the dogs they are producing would actually gain a better start in life that would stick with them far into adulthood, thus producing a well-rounded, adjusted pup that owners would be highly unlikely to be wary of and ready to give up on. I often do the breed referrals for people looking for the right dog for their family, and I am the one who chooses your pup for our lead dog service dog program. Over the last 2 decades, I have trained and worked with several hundred dogs. That's a lot of dogs. I have bred my own litters and trained each and every one of them up to the age of 12 weeks. But I've also trained many of them into adulthood. I have trained many other puppies and rescues, and I have seen many mistakes made by breeders, pet stores, shelters, fosters, and even the new owners themselves. Puppies have 4 critical periods of life. This is part 4. I hope you stick around and subscribe to our podcast. We produce excellent content all year long. If you have a topic recommendation or an idea for an extended series like this one, please shoot us a message on our social channels and we will do our best to make it happen. Again, I have used the information I am sharing for years in raising puppies and preparing them for life. It is my hope that the novice and the expert in raising and training of dogs appreciates the information being shared and utilizes this information to raise a well-balanced, better trained puppies. Reminder, the purpose of a puppy program is to condition the puppy to learn, and that learning and doing things are fun. The program aims at preventing problems rather than correcting problems later. This purpose of puppy program must be fully understood. Therefore, I recommend that you do not attempt to program any puppy until you are familiar with Clarence Pfaffenberger's The New Knowledge of Dog Behavior. Here's a pro tip. We have included an Amazon link on the show notes page that will make it super easy for you to order the book. If you have listened to the other parts of this series, you will remember that this puppy program includes a lot of exercises for dogs that are going on to do other jobs, like service dogs, therapy dogs, protection dogs, or compete in competitions. Remember, we are Alaska Dog Works. We specialize in canine sports and working dogs, but did you know what? A program like this really sets us apart from other trainers in our industry. Do you know why? Because training in just about anything is to prepare a dog, or a person in fact, for something else. Bigger goals, more fun programs down the line, volunteering, or having a job. Think about it. You may train to run a marathon by running a 5K, or working out in the gym, or swim, bike, or whatever, right? The same goes for your dog, where you have big goals in mind. We even have a cutting-edge program that nobody else in the country offers. It is called Level Up. If you want to learn more about it, let us know. All right, let's get started. The fourth critical period is days 85 through 112. Day 85 through 91. If the puppy is to undergo bite inhibition, place him or her in the yard or pen with peers of approximately similar age for at least 2 hours daily. Continue with your obedience training to include introduction to the AKC obedience exercises. Do longer isolation periods, socialization, location conditioning, crowds, and night work. Do retrieves, bag work, harness, booties, show posing, and gaiting. Swimming. Practice obstacle courses. Take the puppy traveling and include overnight stays. The puppy is working off lead now if you have been following the program. Day 91, the puppy will turn 13 weeks old. Work in crowds and traffic at night. Test for sound startle and go swimming. Days 92 through 98. Bite inhibition. Socialization with man and dog. If you stop now, your puppy may become desocialized. Bag work. Play retrieves. Location and isolation conditioning continues. Booties. Harness work. Hook up to a gang line. Allow pulling lines. No weight. Puppy obedience training sessions. Show standing and gaiting. Do crowds, traffic, and night work. Do not let up on any of these programs. You are in your last 3 weeks. Even though it sounds like a lot, it'll be worth it in the end. Day 98. The puppy is now 14 weeks old. You're going to continue doing the testing for sound startle and swimming. Day 99 through 105 is more bite inhibition, socialize with man and dog. Bite inhibition can be combined with dog-on-dog socialization only if the same age peers are being used in both. Location and isolation conditioning, retrieves, bag work, booties, harness, gang line exposure, posing and gaiting, obedience training. Now you can start increasing the demands on attention. Day 105. The puppy is now 15 weeks old. We continue test for startle, sound, and swimming. Bite inhibition training continues. Review all parts of the program. Test responses. Expose the puppy to as much as possible. We're going to take a short break here and learn all about First Paw Coffee.
So earlier you learned about First Paw Coffee Company, and now I'm going to tell you about its Tail Wagger Blend. First Paw Coffee Company's Tail Wagger Blend is their first offering, and its name and label were crowdsourced from their Facebook fans. How cool is that? The Tail Wagger Blend is a private label premium blend that was developed just for them. It is a medium roast from Colombian beans with tastes of Brazil nuts, grapefruit, and oak. Be sure to go to ak.dog/free and enter to win a bunch of cool prizes. That's ak.dog/free.
All right, you guys, day 112. The puppy is 16 weeks old. It's time to celebrate. The puppy does receive the second vaccination, which is distemper, hepatitis, leptospirosis, and parainfluenza, amongst a couple of others depending on the state that you live in. The dog gets a yearly booster for the rest of his or her life. If you have not followed your program, you can now prepare to begin months or even years of remedial or corrective training if you have progress into any type of advanced obedience, guide work, hunting, herding, guard, mushing, sport, schützen work, or just know that you have a companion animal which is steady, fearless, and reliable among men, women, and children in crowds, traffic, storms, gunfire, etc., and around other dogs. If you are going to proceed with formal obedience training, you are now ready to begin in earnest to learn to communicate with your programmed dog. From birth to 16 weeks, puppies follow the same development. After 4 months, the larger breeds develop slower than the smaller breeds. From 4 to 6 months, teething is occurring. This puts stress on some puppies. Some puppies are oblivious to the teething. Others seem to get painful gums. Be careful and show and tell rather than correcting a puppy during this period. Puppies tend to chew a lot during this period, so provide lots of safe chew toys. Feed 2 meals a day from now on throughout the dog's life. The puppy should receive a rabies vaccination. Age 4 to 8 months. Sometime between 4 to 8 months, fear periods may appear with the flight instinct dominating the puppy's behavior. A fear period may last up to 2 weeks. Handle onsets of fear calmly. Do not under any circumstances comfort the puppy. Do not make a big issue out of the puppy's fear. Try to make the puppy investigate or at least ignore the object that he or she found scary. Allow the puppy to work it out. Walk past the object many times so the puppy gets used to it again. Ages 6 to 12 months. Some breeds are mature at 10 months. Larger breeds tend to take longer and could take up to even 2 to 3 years to fully mature. During this period, the puppy could have more fear periods of new situations. These fear periods may be correlated with growling periods. Allow the puppy to work it out. Do not push, but continue training. The training is a confidence builder in itself. If you followed the whole puppy program, there will be considerable fewer, if any, instances of fear periods. Teach a 30-minute downstay during this time. Between ages 1 to 2 years, there will be tests for dominance. The dog, particularly the males, attain a new level of assertion. The first serious dog fights occur. Use obedience training to assert yourself, particularly the 30-minute downstay. If you have a submissive dog, the obedience training is even more important as a confidence builder. However, if you have followed the puppy program from day 1, you should be able to assert yourself over the dog with just a look and a voice reprimand. Here's a note. Before you go pick up your new puppy, have a plan in place for the first 2 years of its life. Commit to this plan. I promise. If you do, you will have the best trained dog you've ever had in your life. When I come back from the break, we are going to go behind the breed and learn all about the Pembroke Welsh Corgi.
We're living in uncertain times. If there is one thing we can be thankful for, that is the recent pet adoption boom. Shelters are being cleared out, and that means you may not know much about your new best friend. Alaska Dogworks virtual and on-site classes are the best way for you to build a lasting bond and learn about your pup, new or old. From setting up a proper routine to learning the commands and much more, Alaska Dogworks provides you with the resources to develop your dog into one of the best. Right now, Alaska Dogworks has an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Go to alaskadogworks.com now and use promo code DOGWORKS and save 20% off your training program at the time of your booking. Visit alaskadogworks.com and use promo code DOGWORKS to save 20% today. That's alaskadogworks.com and use promo code DOGWORKS at the time of booking.
Okay, guys, let's learn all about how to train the Pembroke Welsh Corgi, shall we? Even though these are one of the most popular breeds in the United States, we don't get the chance to train very many of them. One thing is for certain, since these behind the breed segments are so popular, I am certain someone will give us a call in a week or two asking to train theirs. All about the Pembroke Welsh Corgi. At 10 to 12 inches height at the shoulder and 27 to 30 pounds, a well-built male Pembroke presents a big dog in a small package. Short but powerful legs, muscular thighs, and a deep chest equip him for a hard day's work. Built long and low, Pembrokes are surprisingly quick and agile. They can be red, sable, fawn, and black and tan, with or without white markings. The Pembroke is a bright, sensitive dog who enjoys play with his human family and responds well to training. As herders bred to move cattle, they are fearless and independent. They are vigilant watchdogs with acute senses and a big dog bark. Families who can meet their bold but kindly Pembroke's needs for activity and togetherness will never have a more loyal, loving pet. Here are some facts. The temperament of a Pembroke is affectionate, smart, and alert. The AKC breed popularity ranks them 13th of 195 breeds. Again, their height is 10 to 12 inches, and they weigh up to 30 pounds in males and up to 28 pounds in females. They have a life expectancy of 12 to 13 years, and they are in the herding group. Here's the history of the Corgi. In medieval times, the kings of Europe advertised their majesty to their subjects and visiting emissaries by the richness of their possessions. Carpets, textiles, and tapestries were important factors in these displays of conspicuous consumption. The era's best weavers were centered in Flanders, now northern Belgium. It was common for monarchs to stage talent raids to introduce Flemish weavers to relocate to their kingdoms. So it was that year, 1107, Henry I of Britain invited a community of these master craftsmen to live and work in southwestern Wales. The weavers accepted Henry's invitation and brought all they needed to recreate and recreate their agrarian way of life in their new homeland. This included the dogs they bred to herd cattle and sheep. These sturdy, short-legged herders were the foundation for the breed we now know as the Pembroke Welsh Corgi. The Pembroke has been a distinctly separate breed from his cousin, the Cardigan Welsh Corgi, since the late 1800s, but the two breeds often intermingled in the old Welsh breeding centers of Pembrokeshire and Cardiganshire. Today, the most noticeable differences between the breeds are the ears. The Pembrokes are pointed and erect, the Cardis are rounded, and the tail The Cardi tail is much longer than the Pembroke's. The world's most famous Pembroke fan is Elizabeth II. The Queen got her first Pembroke Dookie in 1933 and has not been without one or more since. Care and training. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi should do well on a high-quality dog food, whether commercially manufactured or home-prepared, with your veterinarian supervision and approval. Any diet should be appropriate to the dog's age, puppy, adult, or senior. Some dogs are prone to getting overweight, so watch your dog's calorie consumption and weight level. Treats can be an important aid in training, but giving too many can cause obesity. Learn about which human foods are safe for dogs and which are not. Check with your vet if you have any concerns about your dog's weight or diet. Clean, fresh water should be available at all times. A strong, athletic little dog developed to herd cattle and other livestock. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi loves physical activity and is happiest when he has a job to do. Corgis benefit from moderate daily exercise to maintain their physical and mental health. Pembrokes can do well on long walks or slow jogs, but their short legs won't allow them to keep up with a bicycle rider. Avoid extreme heat or cold and always provide plenty of cool, fresh water after exercise. Many Pembrokes enjoy and excel at canine activities such as agility, herding, obedience, and tracking events. As with all breeds, early socialization and puppy training classes are strongly recommended. Gently exposing the puppy to a wide variety of people, places, and situations between the ages of 7 weeks and 4 months will help him develop into a well-adjusted, well-mannered adult. Pembrokes often have a mind of their own, but they are energetic, willing, and highly intelligent partners who respond well to training. Positive reward-based training works best with this sensitive breed. Want to learn more about how to train your Pembroke Welsh Corgi to be one of the best trained dogs? Visit our website, alaskadogworks.com, to learn more. As always, follow us on our social channels. Just search Dogworks Radio. And hey, if you like this series, please do us a favor and tell your friends about our podcast. It is the most important thing you can do to help make this show a success. See you next time.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company. Learn more at firstpaw.coffee.
Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michele Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com. From First Paw Media, this is Dogworks Radio. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you'll see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert and Michele Forto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media.